All right. Roger Pascal here with Real Impact Training. We are excited that you're on this podcast today. We got some great things happening. We got lots of stuff happening next week. We have Pete Fortunato. Pete Fortunato is known as the deal maker. He is the guy that not only thinks outside the box, his answer is what box. So we are really excited that Pete's coming in from Tampa, Florida to Arlington, Texas, an all day meeting or all day event with Pete Fortunato. I mean, we were just beyond ourselves. If you don't know who Pete Fortunato is, you need to look him up on the internet. I mean, he is just absolutely phenomenal on YouTube. There's lots of videos out there. We're going to play a couple of clips of some of the videos that we've had with him today on this real quick podcast. It's about 30 minutes long, but we want you to take a look at that. Now, on the bottom of the screen, we have realimpactevents.com. That's where you're going to go and get more information on Pete Fortunato. But right now, I would like to go ahead and open up and ask my partner, my mentor, Dennis Henson. I'd like to ask him to come on and talk a little bit about Pete because they've been friends for years. So,
okay, thank you.
Dennis.
Thank you, Roger. Yes, I'm very excited about having Pete come to the Dallas-Fort Worth area again. Over 15 years, I had real estate group meetings, 2 and 3 a month, and I had over 300 speakers come to speak at our events. The speaker that stood out the most was Pete Fortunato. I took 18 pages of notes when he came to speak, and I had already been investing for 50 years. I thought I pretty much understood the business. But Pete is amazing the way he can come up with structuring of deals. And at the Saturday event next week, he'll spend the entire day telling you different ways to structure deals. You'll just be blown away. You've never heard anyone that even comes close to Pete Fortunato. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to hear him myself. I've contacted all of my personal students and told them that I want them to be there. You should make every effort to come. This may be the last chance you'll ever get to see Pete in person and to hear him and to ask questions. It's a real opportunity, so don't miss out on it. If you're interested or you want to learn more, go to realimpactevents.com.
All right. Good deal, Dennis. Yeah, absolutely. It is just everybody here is so excited. I've talked to people that have traveled halfway across the country just to see Pete talk, and they've seen him talk dozens of times, and that's how impressive he is that people are going to see him multiple times all the time. So right now, I'd like to ask Karen. Karen, can you come on?
I'm here.
Karen Maxwell, and get her on, and she's going to tell us what everybody's going to get. So Karen, tell us what they're going to get.
Great. Well, for everyone that attends this event on March the 12th, you are in for a spectacular prize. Dennis and Roger and the Real Impact Group have decided to sweeten the deal. So we are going to be giving you so many things. We are giving you Roger Pascal's book on Subject 2. That's worth $35. The Royal Flush of Real Estate Investing by Dennis Henson. That's a $15 value. You're going to get the Wealth of Knowledge ebook that's a $50 value. You're going to get 3 months access to our Real Impact training site. That's a $495 value. Let me tell you, this site is amazing. Any forms, any policies and procedures, leases, contracts, it is endless, the stuff that he has up there. And you're going to have access to it. You're going to get the first lesson, the first video of the REI Skills online training course. That's a $200 value. You're going to get branded goodies from the sponsors. These are going to be worth anywhere from $5 to $10. So make sure that you visit with the sponsors and pick up their goodies and talk to them and see about using them in your business. You're going to get the chance to win awesome door prizes. These are valued anywhere from $15 to $500. But the piece de resistance is that you're going to have 8 hours with Pete Fortunato. I have been blown away every single time we've gotten a chance to visit with Pete, because the things he has taught us are things that I haven't even fathomed before. So I was able to put all these new tools in my tool belt, and I'm super excited to meet with Pete and get to spend that date with him.
All right. All right. Hey, Karen, we have a short video here
Okay.
that we'd like to put on real quick that Pete recorded for us the other day.
Okay.
Pete is traveling right now, so he can't be on this call today, but I'm sure he's listening in. But
Hey,
I'd
Pete.
love to start that video, and then we're going to go through this and listen to one of Pete's stories.
Okay, great.
All right.
That's right. So Pete, can you you were telling us a while ago before the call that you've got how many deals with 4 different families or 4 different people?
I had done 71 transactions with 4 families when I did that presentation for Gary Johnston a couple of years ago, but I've done several more deals with a couple of those families in the last 4 years. But I mean, that's very common. I mean, that's what you do. You don't do a deal and then abandon all of the allies you made and all the people who you helped. I have a friend who in 2008 made a loan to somebody who was rehabbing a house. So you can see, if you think back, that was just superb timing. He and his next door neighbor lent $100,000, which they pooled $50,000 each, and lent it to a rehabber who finished the house in about a year and a half, so had it ready for market in the middle of 2009. At that point, the market had more than betrayed both the lender and the remodeler. John and his neighbor were not able to get paid back because the rehabber was unable to sell the house. And it was a 1,700 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And they had to go to foreclosure on the property. They did foreclose, and they won the property. So they ended up owning a property, at which point his neighbor died, which had nothing to do with the property, by the way. And when she died, he then had as his partner in that loan the nephew who lived in Washington State. The house is here in Pinellas County. The nephew, of course, said, I want the $50,000 that I inherit. And so John said, well, there isn't $50,000. Your aunt and I made this loan 2 years ago. And it's no longer a loan. And we no longer have money. And you hear that nonsense about we're deeding the property back. This was not a deed back. We wanted our money back, and we didn't get it. And the nephew called him every day for months, and sometimes twice a day. And I was talking to John one day, and he said, if I could just borrow $50,000 against this house, I'd pay that kid off so I never had to listen to him again. Now, can you imagine that situation? See, everyone I know who's been involved in real estate has seen something like that. And so I said to John, I said, gee, John, I don't know anyone who'd lend you $50,000 on a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot house with a 1-car garage. But I do know someone who'd lend you $50,000 on a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo. And he said, but I don't have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo. And I said, but you could. and I traded him a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo I had for the 1,700 square foot 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. That was 2010, maybe very early 2011. I got one of my friend's IRAs to lend him $50,000 on the 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, which enabled him to shut the nephew up who lived out in Washington State. So now I've taken a condo that I hated owning because it had an association, and I don't do well with associations, and converted it by 1031 into a very nice 1,700 square foot 3-2. Unfortunately, it's 18 miles north of me, and that's too far away from me. So I had the house, and then I talked to a friend of mine who had $93,000 sitting with an accommodator for a 1031 exchange. And he has yet to find his target property. And so I sold him the 1,700 square foot house for $93,000 cash, thereby enabling him not to pay taxes on his $93,000, which was sitting with the accommodator.
That's amazing.
Now, 2 years later, the owner of the 3-bedroom, 2-bath house called me. He said, we're getting older. We decided, we paid $93,000 for this house. The tenant has offered us $100,000 cash, not much. We think we're just going to cash it out and have fewer rental properties. Now, what do we know about him? He paid $93,000, but it was a 1031. So the $93,000 came from an exchange. So his basis was the basis he brought forward from the property he'd given up. And so I reminded him that he wasn't going to have next to no capital gain, and suggested he call his CPA. And it turned out his basis was less than $15,000. So he had an $85,000 taxable event, and the government was going to steal $15,000 of his money. And so I bought the property back from him with an installment sale. So the installment sale enabled him to collect interest on what would have been stolen by the government. And so he could keep that capital returning interest to him. And so I bought the property back with an installment note. But I didn't want the property because, remember, I told you it was too far north. So now that I bought it for $100,000, I sold it for $100,000 and gave him a mortgage on a different piece of property. So I took the cash, but because I paid $100 and sold it for $100, I had no taxable event, and I raised the cash. The young man who bought the property got a VA loan to buy it. That's how he cashed us out. 3 years later, that young man lost his job. Now it's 2016. And he called up and he said, I can't afford this house. I want to return to where my family lives up in Pennsylvania, but I'm 2 months in arrears. I don't want to ruin my credit. And so I bought the house from him subject to the mortgage and got it back again. And so I paid $6,000, which brought him current, and paid for a moving van so he could go back home. So now I've got $6,000 in this place. And so then I went to the Monday night meeting and sat down with a young man who was a starter who only had a couple of rental properties. And I sold it to him for $11,000 cash and wrapped the mortgage so I could protect the young man who'd moved to Pennsylvania. And so he pays me, I pay the mortgage. And the young guy in Pennsylvania has got perfect credit since that time. The house has done well. and as well as getting 11,000 back, which got me my 6,000 that I'd invested back and put me ahead 5,000. I have an option to pay the young man who bought it $5,500 for half of the equity in the house. Now, all of a sudden, we find ourselves in 2022. What's happened to that house?
Appreciated.
Does anybody remember a $100,000 house from 2016? Is it the same value today?
Yeah, it was like last week, wasn't it?
Just appraised for $285,000.
Wow.
The young man, the starter, is refinancing the house. I am taking my option off the house to clear the title so that he can refinance it. And with the refinance proceeds, he's getting something like 4%, 30 years. He's going to pay off another rental house. So he'll have a free and clear rental house. And I'm going to have an option on 2 houses. Well, that was one deal, one house. When I go to Gulfside Title to have Sue Ann Lewis do the title, she's real good. She can handle that title pretty easily because she did that title in 2008. She did that title in 2010. She did it in 2013. She did it in 2016. The reissue rates, even on the title insurance, are too expensive because she's done it so many times. But to do business that way gives you so much more opportunity, and you're dealing with all people who you like and you enjoy and you trust and you want to help and you want to see do well. So that's a story of one house over the last 12 years.
Oh, wow. That is just great. I love, this is what we're going to get all day on Saturday the 12th is we're going to have Pete tell us story after story, giving us ideas after ideas. This is the way that I've been doing business for years is having a core group of people that give me referrals, that do multiple properties, that upgrade properties. They buy a property and they decide, in 3 years, they want to get a bigger house, or maybe they want to downsize. And it's thinking outside the box and making the things happen. So Dennis, tell us a little bit about what's your thoughts on how that whole process worked, how well he did that.
Well, Pete's amazing. He can ask several questions and come up with solutions that no one else would have ever dreamed of. He's just an amazing person. The last time he came, he told a story of a grandmother who was having problems with her children. She didn't want them to receive her inheritance when she passed away. She knew that they would just blow it, and she wanted her grandchildren to get the property. They couldn't figure out any way of doing that. They talked with several attorneys, and finally they asked Pete Fortunato what to do, and he said, "We'll just have her marry the grandchild." He was like 3 years old. So when she passes away, it'll just pass to him. Well, I think that's thinking outside the box. I think that's the one that stuck with me the most. But if you come, bring a notebook and a couple of pens, because you're going to take a lot of notes. You're going to find out some really, really creative way to do real estate investing, and it's fun. He's entertaining. On the video that we just played, he was very nervous. He doesn't enjoy doing podcasts, but in person, he's a totally different person. He's entertaining, he's funny, and he's very knowledgeable. So make your plans to be there. It's on the 12th of March. That's next Saturday, and it's all day. And I think you'll really be happy that you came. I know I can't wait to go.
Absolutely. So tons of stuff you're going to get. We're going to be at the Sheraton in Arlington, which is right there, very near the old Ranger Stadium, the new Ranger Stadium, the Globe Life Field, the AT&T Stadium, which is Jerry Jones, the Jerry Jones World over there, or out there by Six Flags, all that in that area through there. It's going to be phenomenal. You're going to get to network with dozens of other investors. As Dennis said a while ago, we're going to have tons of sponsors for this event, and you're going to be able to network with them, build those relationships, work with an RMLO, work with a servicer, work with creative finance people, work with some title, the list goes on. We have a ton of sponsors that are going to be at this event because they know the value that Pete's going to bring to the table. And, this is no other time are we going to be able to have Pete for a full day in our area to just go over ideas and deals and how he's done things and the stories of that. And as Dennis said, 18 pages of notes from a few years ago that Dennis took. Expect to take a lot of notes. Bring your yellow pad and start and a pen, and you want to make that happen. So we're excited. Karen, you got anything else to throw out there?
I'll just go back over the event details again. It is going to be next Saturday, March the 12th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Arlington Sheridan. The tickets are $2.99, and you can bring one friend for an additional $99. Now, guys, this is the early bird special, so make sure if you plan on attending that you get your tickets before the event, because at the door, they're going to be $100 higher. So if you want to take special advantage of the early bird pricing, make sure you go to realimpactevents.com and get your tickets today.
Absolutely. And we have multiple locations for Real Impact. We are scattered all the way from East Texas to West Texas up to Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. So it'll have in there what group you're affiliated with. So make sure you click that so we can measure that and know where you're at. But we're excited to have everybody on here. And thank you for being on this call today. If you've got any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to us through Facebook or through our emails or through the links are on there on the YouTube channel. So feel free to reach out to us, send us some messages, call us, whatever it takes, email us. We'll get you those answers. But we're excited that you're going to be on here today. We're excited that hopefully we'll be seeing you on Saturday the 12th. And other than that, I think that we're going to close this out. Dennis, do you have anything else?
Well, the things that they get for coming are worth twice the admission, even if Pete didn't speak. So it's a pretty good deal. But we did that to bribe you to come because we want as many people as possible to get to hear Pete while he's still available.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you so much. Thank you, CJ, with Fun Grid Entertainment for helping us put this on today and making this happen. And once again, I really hope to see you there on the 12th, Saturday the 12th, Arlington, Texas. We're going to have a blast. Pete is such a fun guy to be around, and we're going to learn so much from him. And it is going to be a great investment for you. So go on there to realimpactevents.com. Look, more information is going to be on there, so you can look at that and then register. We hope to see you there.
Oh,
everybody. Oh, what do you got, Karen?
One more thing. If they want to see the full video from where we got to talk to Pete for almost an hour, and that's on last Sunday's YouTube or Sunday before last YouTube video. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to our network, Real Impact Network here on YouTube, and hit that bell so that you'll get the notifications every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time when we go live. And we answer any questions that you guys have about real estate investing live on those shows on Sunday nights.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for keeping us on track. And we will see you on the 12th. We're excited. See you there on the 12th.
Super excited.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
He has certainly changed the way I invest. He has helped me and my family grow financially.
His education and his mentorship has meant the world to me and to my family.
Peter is probably the most creative real estate mind that I've ever met.
Pete, I gotta tell you, has got to be the most creative, gifted mentor and the most generous guy I've ever met.
Loved his super technical approach as well as his heart.
Nobody but Peter and a handful of other people can make the crazy way I like to structure deals seem normal.
I am blown away by Pete's ability to and willingness to be able to solve complex problems just on the fly.
You were just so helpful for me, whether it be just offering sound fundamental advice or giving me ideas to get around problems that I never even would have thought of in a million years.
You taught everybody so easily, and you're just such a great teacher.
He's a gifted teacher, and I've really enjoyed every class that I've been able to go to, and I hope that I'll have a chance to go to many more.
Over the years, Peter has helped me so much, and he's always there for me via phone, via text, of course, or in person.